It's Not Another Buffalo Podcast, hosted by three of the most underqualified sports personalities this side of the canal. With John.
All you people out there who are like, these idiots don't know anything. First of all, you're right. And second of all,
Pat.
I'm just a dad talking in a closet, but I'm just saying.
And Brando.
We have this trust built on whatever it is, like Bibles and gold bricks and whatever Brandon Bean's drinking over there.
all right, welcome back to Not Another Buffalo Podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my buddies, Pat and Brando, here on a Wednesday evening. This episode is brought to you by Small City Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in Western New York, you got to call Zach Korzelius at Small City Realty. That number is 585-409-1088. 585-409-1088. It's been a second, boys. It's been a couple weeks here. I was out of town last week, obviously, and had a rough time coming back to Nashville after that. So unfortunately, we didn't get an episode out in the small amount of time that we had last week. But that's okay. It's the off season, and that's probably not the last episode we're going to miss here in the off season. But how are you guys doing? How you guys been?
Enjoying the sunshine as much as possible. Yeah. 70s and sunny now. This is prime Buffalo weather here. Prime nice. Western New York spring, I think. So
yeah, it's already too hot in Nashville. It's been too hot for like 3 weeks already. Pat, what about you? How's it over in Rochester?
It was good today. It was raining, but it was good.
Nice. Well, we just got the schedule released. It came out approximately 43 minutes ago officially. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Got some other stuff. I'll tell the story, my rant about getting back to Nashville and one of the worst travel experiences I've ever had.
Oh, no.
Rather. So, and on that note, too, if you guys want to share, you listeners want to share your worst travel experiences, hit us up on Twitter or send us an email, notanotherBillspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk about it on the show next week because I think it's an interesting topic because I know some people have much worse stories than I do. I know people have done crazier things than what I had to do to get home. And I've even had to do crazier things before. So maybe this is like
hitchhike.
Thumbs out. It's not that bad. I see. You know what? I'm hyping it up too much, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, that wasn't that good of a story."
That's it.
So
I've been lucky, man.
Too much preamble.
Zero. I mean, a little flight delay. Maybe like your layover flight, your original flight lands, and then your connecting flight. You have to run to the gate. I've had that happen once, but I'm lucky. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So.
My first time flying was historically bad also, which is another fun story that happened to me during college. But anyway, let's get going on the schedule here. Starting off September 8th against the Cardinals. I don't want to read through the entire schedule here. So let's, Brandon had this idea. Let's draft it. So we used to do drafts on the show a while ago. Let's draft these games, pick which ones are our favorite, and then tell each other why we're wrong. So Actually, I didn't prepare for this draft. We usually have like a random number generator going to see who picks first.
We could go oldest to youngest.
That sounds good to me. Brando, you're up.
All right, I'm on the clock. All right, my first pick, the number one game on our schedule this year. I am not sure what to pick. I was not prepared to be put on the clock first overall, so I am looking very hard at the schedule right now. I feel like a softball pick is the opener, but it's Arizona. Really, I don't like the Cardinals. Like, it's kind of a dud of a game.
I don't think that is a softball pick. I think we actually did this before, like 2 years ago. I think we drafted the schedule.
Did we?
And we did, I think. And you picked the opener too, and it was like, I don't know if it was.
I think it was the Titans game. It was blowout.
No, that would have been the LA game.
The LA game, the LA game.
And that's hype. We're the first game of the year, man. Like that is the best game.
That's true. But you had a better case. So I don't think that. See, I've like my top 7 listed here on a board, and then I'm just gonna wing it after that. Cardinals didn't even make my list.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go and make my pick first overall, and I'm picking it because it is right around my birthday. Bills v Chiefs. Regular season obviously means nothing because we have beaten them 3 years in a row, regular season. But my first overall pick, November 17th against the Chiefs.
Yep. That was the number one overall on my board too. It's a Chiefs game. Put it on the calendar. Yeah. Mark it. We get it every single year. I don't know if there's a record for how many times non-divisional AFC opponents have played against each other, but it feels like this, I'm sure there's some Patriots Steelers record over the course of that dynasty that might be longer. Good luck finding that, Brando, if you can. But anyway,
I don't think I can find it. Yeah.
All right. Well, while you're working on that, I'll make my pick. Second on my board is at the Texans, October 6th. It's the Stephon Diggs game. Yeah. And I think this game would be exciting regardless of Stephon Diggs because the Texans have like all this young talent, all these crazy wide receivers.
You got the
CJ Stroud
looks redemption arc too in there.
Right. Did they even re-sign Devin Singletary? I don't even know if they did, to be honest with you.
That's a
I'll
good
have to check.
question.
That's why we're not another Texans podcast.
Oh, he's on the Giants. Never mind. All right.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I thought I remembered something about that. Look at us. We're very prepared, folks. Pat, you want to go third overall?
Yeah, sure. So I'm looking here at December 1st. As you guys know, I don't know what it is about him, but I do have a little bit of a thing for Kyle Shanahan. And so that would be a really exciting game. I feel like, last time we played the Niners, Nick Mullins was starting the game. I think like Jimmy G was hurt. So hopefully if Brock plays, it'll be a, really exciting game to watch.
And it will be coming off the bye, which Sean McDermott cooks off the bye off of a Chiefs game. I feel like that's one of those games where if the Bills lose to the Chiefs, they're going to roll the Niners, right? Where they're coming off a bye. But if they beat the Chiefs, we don't want to get in this like high confidence zone and then like get smashed down. So that could be like a turning point of the season. You're coming in Chiefs, Niners, Rams, Lions. It's a big stretch.
I'm struggling right here because I've been trying to make note. I have this picture like in preview. I have it in my notes, and there's no way to like notate it unless you're on an iPhone. So, Brandon, you're gonna have to help me remember which ones we've picked so far. I think we'll kind of remember.
I'm a little torn for this next pick. Am I up? Here we go.
I added that to the Walmart list.
Apple Watch thought I was talking to it.
Yeah.
Technology working great right now. Did it say add that to the Walmart list?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right.
Buys tickets to, primetime football. Yeah.
Right. San Francisco, December 1st. Add that to the Walmart list.
That's funny.
Didn't know you could buy those tickets at Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy on the shelves at Walmart, your Walmart quarterback. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Cheap. All
right, Brandon, go ahead.
My second pick.
I know what this is going to be already. Can I tell everybody what this is going to be?
I'm not going to take the Lions game, though. I'm not going to.
Really?
Do it.
Okay.
No,
I thought it was going to be the Lions game.
There's too much value here. If it was on Thanksgiving, it would have been my number one pick. Real bummed it's not. December 15th, smack dab in the middle of basketball season. Not going to be on a end of a long weekend. Going to be tough to get to Detroit for that game. I'm upset about it. I saw that was my first check on the schedule. When do we play the Lions? So the value for me is not quite there, but I think we're getting to the point now where the value of the home opener for me, I got my Chiefs game. I'll take the Cardinals home opener. It's always fun. September 8th, as long as it's not raining, crowd will be lit. And by lit, I mean drunk. And by drunk, I mean loud. So they will be crazy. And I want to say that we need to redeem Hail Mary, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. could smoke us though. Like there is storylines for the Cardinals, but they won 4 games last year and they didn't get that much better, I think, in the draft.
Hasn't it been a little bit too long to redeem the Hail Mary?
They haven't played them.
I mean, that was the best thing to happen to the Bills though. They won like 9 games in a row after it. So.
Did we win the Super Bowl? No. We're not talking about it.
No. And we have to live with that, that play on NFL films for the rest of our lives. Even though it was meaningless for their season too. Missed the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. So. Brandon, I think I had that one way down my board against the Cardinals. But again, I guess it is Marvin Harrison Jr. There, so I think that might help with it a little bit.
It's the experience. I like working home opener games. They'll be fun. It'll be nice to be there. I feel like that might skew me a little bit to pick my best player available here on the board. So that's why, that's why I went with that.
I don't want to sound cocky as a Bills fan. And like everybody knows that the Bills we lost to the Steelers when they were bad in their home opener, so they can drop one whenever. But it's kind of nice to have a non-conference. I don't want to say softball, but it's, if you were to pick any franchise in the NFL right now, it'd be them or the Panthers probably, in week 1 that you would pick to face, right? So I don't want to call it an extra preseason game and get all cocky as a Bills fan because it's going to age poorly. But I do like the non-conference opening opponent there.
We can get into this a little bit more later, but when you look at the Bills opening schedule, this is a tough schedule. The Cardinals is your easiest game. You're looking at a Dolphins team
on a short week
with last year. Short week. Jags, who you lost to. Ravens, AFC Championship game. Houston loaded, Jets team you lost to, diet Josh Allen, and then the Seahawks. So, what are you hoping to get by the time you're playing the Dolphins for the second time in November? You trying to be 500? You trying to be a couple games over 500?
I think we're trying to be
8 games into the season.
Batting 1,000 there, Brando. Come on.
Undefeated through 8 games, man. I'm not in 6th grade anymore. I've been hurt.
This is eternal optimism season. We're not serious commentators.
I think the last, if you were to say like, where's a stretch where we could Pokemon catch them all, I would say like Rams through Pats week 18. If we had to, I feel like those are 5 that we could win out. But
yeah. With the toughest one there probably being Detroit in there, right? Yeah.
Unless the Jets are good.
Yeah. Pat's in the 2 of the last 3 there. So that'll be interesting.
Well, and how about that? Right. How about the Dolphins throwing a little bit of a fit, not wanting to play in any snow games? Seems a little strange, doesn't it?
That's true.
A little strange there.
I guess the compromise was, Buffalo in November, right? Yeah, Buffalo November 3rd is where they play, and then they're in Miami week 2.
But it's a night game in Miami,
right?
And you won't have the heat, right? You won't have 120 degrees. You might have 80s, but no snow, no heat, neutral fields, 2 good teams. Let's go.
Nice. Mike North playing peacemaker there. So anyway, I think I'm up with my next pick, right? I'm gonna take the Lions. I think that's a great game. December 15th. Middle of no, that's not going to slide, man. You took the Cardinals. Yeah, I like it. It's a great matchup. Jared Goff just signed a monster contract. Yeah, I saw the numbers on that. I'm just like, damn. Inflation is going better for some people than others, I guess.
Quarterbacks. Yeah, no middle class. I was reading some numbers, and Josh Allen and Jared Goff were not so different under pressure, not so different when not pressured. So I'm going to start that over. I was going to say
they're the opposite under pressure, right?
Yeah, so that's their difference maker, right? In the research I was looking at, when Jared Goff is protected, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And if you saw that game that we played in Thanksgiving, we got just enough pressure where Jared missed just a little bit. He misses by fractions of an inch. And that's the difference between him and Mahomes and Allen and Herbert and insert elite quarterback here, because he's so close. He's really close. I remember watching, and he missed an out route to St. Brown, maybe on the last drive. And it's like, oh, there's Jared Goff. There he is. So, but when he and the Lions beef their O-line, they have good weapons. Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Laporta. That's going to be a great game. And that's going to be one to be at for sure.
Pat, all right. Let's we got a lot of picks to get through here, so we'll try to quick pick them a little bit through the rest of these and see if we can remember which ones have been picked already, because I'm not crossing them off.
Okay. Well, September 8th, I will probably not be there. That is when Luca, Michael, Alex, Caprio should be starting his season opener.
Yeah.
So I probably won't be watching that one. I really like the Ravens game, Sunday Night Football. I feel like the last time we played the Ravens was that we came back from like 17 down, late third, early fourth.
23-20 or something like that was the final score.
Yeah, so that'll be maybe a revenge game. Cool game, though. Primetime game. Excited for that.
All right, Ravens. I made a list of 10, and I'm trying to cross them off as we go here.
All right, I'm back on the clock then?
Yes.
Okay, give me Miami week 2. Set the tone early. Take them out in their home field in Miami. Show them Josh Allen still owns you, Jordan Poyer. No offense. Love you. But Josh, unstoppable. I really love the comments on a couple of our videos. The guy's like, you guys never win a Super Bowl. And I was like, you guys haven't won a game against Allen here really recently. I mean, you split, but like, really though, are you beating Josh? Like, come on. So that'll be a great game. Again, these games, that would be one to go to Thursday night, make it a long weekend, spend the weekend in Miami. But only downside is it's nice to go to Florida later in the year. You don't need to leave Buffalo September 12th. It's still pretty nice. So late night, Thursday night, for recording purposes could be a little dicey, but that'll be a good game to watch. Tua, will he get a contract by then? We'll see. Probably not, but
I think there might be some Saturday episodes this year for sure with Thursday Night Football. I mean, obviously, Fox canceling Buffalo Rumblings with zero notice and ability to let the subscribers know was subpar. But now we get to release episodes whenever we want. So there's that too. So All right, so I'm on the board. I'm going to take the other Miami game right after that, November 3rd in town. You know, the weather's going to be either 15 and snowing, or it's going to be a beautiful day, November 3rd. Early November, right after Halloween. So I'm going to hope for good weather, but it's still Miami and it's in Buffalo. So I feel like that's the next highest on my board.
Fair enough. Patty.
All right, 9th overall. I'm looking at week 10. Interesting team. I mean, this is a team that almost edges out the Texans. Wins the AFC South with Gardner Minshew. So I really am excited to see what the Colts are going to do this year. I feel like Anthony Richardson, you know, he could be the next Josh Allen physically. You know, he definitely has the tools. I wouldn't be surprised.
On that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts come into this game week 10 already with 6 or 7 wins.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. And they got, who'd they take with that receiver?
A.D. Mitchell.
Okay, they took A.D. Mitchell. So, you know, and their GM was pretty adamant about the fact that he shouldn't have slid. But you're right, they have a good squad. I have some distaste, which is totally unproportionate or unrational towards Anthony Richardson. In my Madden league, we had to start over. They gave me Anthony Richardson, and he's a bum. I didn't like him. He never progressed for me in the game. So he was throwing interceptions, missing open receivers. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Well, Brando, I don't know if you ever watched the NFL games where Anthony Richardson was playing, but he was pretty exciting.
Yeah, he really didn't, because he was hurt all the time. He left every single game.
Concussed, man. He didn't care and then blew out his shoulder. But I love it. He's a
couple of those games, he had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first quarter before he had to leave too. Yeah. So I don't dislike him for any real reason. You know, he's a good, young, talented player. I don't wish him to succeed against the Bills, but I think there's some talent there. But also maybe some subconscious influence on Brando's Madden game in there somewhere. All right,
I'm back up.
Yep.
Give me December 29th, home against the Jets. Division clincher potential game going into New Year's, Christmas break, at home. Aaron Rodgers is going to be mad because it's cold. His Achilles is going to be sore. His ayahuasca is going to be waiting for him.
He's going to have a bad trip is what he's going to have if he loses the game.
He's going to have a bad trip to Buffalo. Yeah, that's what he's going to have. So
wait, you mean that guy from the podcasts? Sorry, I forgot he played football. My bad.
Oh, Aaron. So I'd like to see Kevin Costner. Oh my God. Kevin Coleman. Keon Coleman.
We'll get there eventually. What are we doing? 7 degrees from Kevin Bacon here?
You want to see Keenan and Kel from Good Burger?
Yeah, I'm getting there, man. It's going.
We'll make it there. It's Wednesday, dudes.
That's the game for me. Unless they got to wait a week to clinch in New England, but that'll be the last game at home until the playoffs. So I'll take the Jets game there.
That's a good one. All right. I'm looking at what's left. Week 3, which is Jags. Week 6, which is Jets.
Titans,
7,
Seahawks.
which is Titans. Seahawks. I'm gonna go Seahawks here. Tell me what's going on with the Seahawks here. They don't have Pete Carroll anymore. Is Geno still there?
He's the middleman of all NFL quarterbacks. $25 million a year. Nobody that is worth anything makes less than that, and a lot of people make more than that. So he's like the benchmark. If you can play, and you can get a 500 record, you pay him $25 million, and that's Geno.
Nice. Well, give me the Geno game. The Bills' recent games against the Seahawks have been pretty fun. So
it's Halloween weekend.
Yep. Woo! All right, Pat, you're up.
Well, I'm just looking here. December 22nd. Most people aren't going back to work on the 23rd. So, one big holiday. If I were to go to a game, hopefully it's not terrible, but it's Christmas time. If you're not at the game, having a brew or two, you're relaxing with the family, having a brew or two. It's the Pats. Drake May seems to think that he's the next Josh Allen, as Bill Belichick would say. We'll see about that. But I think just time of year and the fact that the game's at home, that would be a great one to go to, and knowing that you could enjoy yourself in excess and not have to work the following day.
Yeah. I like that a lot too, especially for work purposes for me, having to work that game and then having off on Monday. But you know what I don't like? They play New England, 2 times in 3 weeks.
What's up with that? Shouldn't that be a Dolphins game? What is up with that? What come on.
They closed the New England, New York, and New England. Like, that's crazy. The division games at the end, I understand, but I don't like that.
I don't like
that.
They
did
either.
It a couple years ago too, right? They played They play these weird division games. I don't know. Put New England first. I wanted them to be the home opener.
But
we ran that gauntlet though with the 2 New England games at the end of the year. That was the 13 seconds year.
Might have been. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They're all mixed up. But yeah, I mean, I think the advantage though is it's like there's 3 very winnable games in front of you the last 3 weeks. If you need to make a run for hopefully the 1 seed, right, is what we're hoping. And worst case scenario, run for the division, I guess. I guess that's not the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
That's
Wild card.
Like,
we were like
making the playoffs. Yeah. But we'll be okay. All right, Brando, are you up?
I'm up.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I'm taking the Titans.
Okay.
I just was going to say Josh Allen light. They're pretty loaded. They got.
Wait, why do you guys keep saying Josh Allen light?
Will Levis, man, he's
Will
just
Levis,
like reckless.
He just likes to run into people. So
yeah, he reminds us all of the Houston Texans game.
Josh Allen 0, Josh Allen extra light. I don't know, maybe something like that.
If you guys watched him, if you recall, he helped us make the playoffs
in that Dolphins game.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Sam, makes the trip to Miami for that game and gets heartbroken.
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee, though. He's not human.
That's gross. Well, Josh Allen's going to smush him. But
it was actually Brandon who said he hated Will Levis for that reason last year. So
yes, I do hate Will Levis. Same reason why I don't like Anthony Richardson. I got stuck with Will Levis in a Madden draft, and I had to play with him for like 19 games, and the dude was a bum, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then like I got rid of him, and he became a franchise stud. Like the computer, when they sim him, he's just like 300 yards. I'm like, what?
All right, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Can I make a prediction? Whatever quarterback you get drafted this year, you're going to hate the year after because of your Madden results.
Hey, I drafted this guy. We were in there like year 7. His name was Eli DeLos, and he developed to be like a 95. He was a stud. I love him, but he doesn't exist in the world yet because he's in like 7th grade.
What?
Because like when you play, you advance year after year after year as you go through the seasons. So like the first 4 draft classes are players that are in college football now. But once you get a few years past, they're all like randomly generated people.
Oh, okay.
So Eli DeLos was my randomly generated quarterback who I developed into a superstar after I had Will Levis for way too long.
So Eli DeVos is going to beat Tom DeBrettel in the Super Bowl here.
Yep. That's exactly what they sound like. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So give me the Titans. Yeah. Give me the Titans.
All right. Give me Jaguars week 3. That seems like a decent matchup if the Jags are anything this year. All right, Pat, left we have week 6, Jets, week 9, Dolphins. That can't be right. We already picked that one.
Yeah.
Got that down. So week 6, week 12.
I kind of want the Rams game. I feel like will be pretty interesting. There's going to be some interesting dynamics in that game. Very winnable game for sure.
Week 14, take it.
Matt Stafford coming in. Or we're going there. We're going to LA.
Possibly the ghost of Matt Stafford. I don't know. Is he going to fall off this year? What do you think, Brando? No, never.
No.
Right.
No. Not
Keep
until he does.
In denial.
Yeah.
All right, Denial Boy, you're up next.
Well, looking at what we have left, I can't take another Jets game, and I think I have to go with. I think I got to take the last game of the year, the end of the year, New England
All right.
game.
So the only game left is week 6 against the Jets, and with my pick, I'm going to select week 12, which is the bye week.
Yeah.
Pat, you're up.
Boom. Pat gets the Jets.
Well, is that the only game left? Sorry, I was just texting.
Yeah.
I was just texting B-Moms there for a second. She texted me and was like, did you know Luca's due date is on the first game of the season? And so I had to let her know that Brandon picked the game. And then I said, I can't watch the game because it's actually Luca's, season debut. Let's see here. So we've pretty much this is slim pickings here. It looks like really.
It's very slim. It's very slim.
It's so slim. Some would say that there's only one option.
Well, I've been to playoff games, I guess, at Highmark. So I'm not saying that the end of the year games, but that's a game. Hopefully you don't even care what happens really. Like when I was in Toronto last year and we were playing the Jets the second time around, and it was like, we pretty much already had it in the bag. You got it on in the background. Maybe, you go out, have dinner with friends, do some shopping. You just got it on the radio.
Pat, the game that's left is the Jets game. I think it's
Yeah,
it's not that last Pats game. The
No,
TBD.
I just picked that.
No, yeah, he
you
took
did?
that. He took that.
Jesus.
The only one left is October 14th against the Jets.
Oh, Jesus.
Man, we should have let him go on for longer.
You should. Sorry, man. I wanted to stop you there.
No, you're okay. Well, I mean, at least it's Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
it is. Wow. Look at that. Monday Night Football, last game drafted.
And just so you guys know, you should make sure that you get your antenna TV because the NFL is trying to screw us fans right now with pricing us out of being able to watch our game that we used to enjoy watching for free. So if you have an antenna, that digital receiver, get it up because they're just getting all these exclusive rights to streaming services. And that's not fair. What happened to America's game that's accessible for Americans? So
It's baseball.
Baseball, apparently, which is also inaccessible unless you have cable and YouTube TV and MLB Network. But yeah, so that should be.
To go along with what you said, it's $850 total of all the subscriptions, I think, if you have to pay them throughout the NFL season to watch all the games. I saw that.
That's why I'm happy that
like that is, but
it gets locally syndicated. I am happy that I'll be able to watch that on ABC at home and not need NFL on ESPN to watch it. So
right. Very thankful that we didn't end up with a Christmas game because that would have sucked. And those are the ones that are on Netflix as well. So dodged that bullet, which is good.
Right? On Christmas.
I think the Chiefs play on Christmas, yeah. Well, screw them.
But I mean, I guess my only complaint too about the streaming services is that, and not to sound, this is going to sound like I'm like my dad or like Stephen A. Smith or something, but like
two wildly different people.
Well, no, but that's a whole thing. My dad is like Stephen A. Smith can't leave ESPN because he's one of the last people that has my perspective on sports. But like having watched, if you watch the games from the TV, from the antenna, from the radio, it's like 2.5 seconds faster than if you watch it streaming. Always.
It's way faster. It might even be more than that.
Yeah,
so it's like that's just not fair.
Up to a 30 seconds buffer time.
But
yeah, let me look up when that Chiefs game is on Christmas.
Chiefs Raiders again. What, they had the Black Friday game last year?
Yeah,
Chiefs at Steelers 12 p.m. Well, I was gonna say last year it was Christmas Eve. They played against the Raiders, but
yeah, that game was terrible. I think the Raiders won the game and they didn't complete a pass in the second half.
Yeah, they did. Well, which was actually made it awesome for us, but it's crazy that team won the Super Bowl. I can't. But anyway, yeah, Kansas City Chiefs at Pittsburgh Steelers, 12 p.m. So that's 1 p.m. for you East Coasters on Christmas Day. And as long as there's no fast cars or commencement speeches, they should be fine. They'll be good. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get to some quotes with Pat, and then if we have 2 minutes at the end, I'll rant about Alaskan Airlines.
Yeah, boo Alaska.
Alaska.
Right.
Alaskan Airlines, not Alaska.
All right, cue the quotes with Pat intro.
It's time for quotes with Pat. They're things that people said.
How many of you guys are sitting here now, about to cross that stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you're going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children that you will bring into this world.
Some vodka.
Yeah. As someone who's having a kid, like, I mean, you would love to have your partner stay at home. I would stay at home. I mean, financially speaking, she makes more money than I do, but like, Harrison, we don't all kick for the Kansas City Chiefs, dog. Like, where's that coming from? Where financially, but all right. So I got one more here.
Harrison. Give me Harrison Ford.
Harrison.
Any other Harrison? George Harrison.
George Harrison, that's right.
How many Harrisons could you name? Not that many. I think I'm Harrison
Phillips.
Harrison Phillips, nice.
William Henry Harrison.
All right, president in there.
Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison. All right, there
Marvin
we go.
Harrison.
Marvin Harrison.
Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. We're seeing him week 1.
Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, here we go.
So then this next quote, as John would say, Pat, you are the master at saying a bunch of sentences without there really being you're the master at not answering a question. And so this person also seems like he has 99 Skyrim speechcraft. So this person said, so let's deal in reality and recognize fact and then be a steward, not an owner. So I just believe that I got to steward what comes my way, control what I can control, which is what a steward does. but a steward doesn't worry about that which they can't control. An owner does. An owner would be like, oh my goodness. So I just got to steward this and just kind of do what I've always done as a player and let the chips fall where they may.
Tua talking about his contract. Oh, all right. Steward. Let's see.
Steward.
Russell?
Why don't you look
Talking
up?
Russell
Why don't you
Wilson?
look up Steward? Russell's a good guess.
This sounds like some wide receiver speak if I've ever heard it, but I don't know if this is a wide receiver quote.
Justin Jefferson.
No. Why don't I read you the definition of a steward? A person who looks after the passengers on a ship, aircraft, or a train and brings them meals.
So Aaron Rodgers.
No.
You said planes. So I went with the Jets.
Yeah. Older player. You're kind of in that steward role. Steward Little.
Oh, is this Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Nice. Okay. Oh, Kirk.
Kirk's like, I don't care. I could never take a snap for the Falcons. I don't care, man. I got $100 million. Do you think I care? Michael Penix can go out and win the Super Bowl. I don't give a like literally,
Well, I heard him say something else too. Maybe it was from the same show, but he's like, listen, I was drafted behind a number 2 overall quarterback. He's like, I played my way through it. He's like, Nick Foles was brought in to Michigan State when I was there. I played my way through it. And he's like, this is never going to change. This is how it is. It worked out. And I'm like, yeah, it worked out because you're sitting on $400 million over your career to win one playoff game.
Well, Kirk Cousins, he's a cold ass man. That's a very, hot take, but he's also real cold in the playoffs. Speaking of cold, John, I hear you had a problem with Alaskan Airlines. Care to tell us about that?
Hell of a transition, Pat. Well, not as bad as the door blowing off, but we had some weather in Nashville. And so anyway, we were kind of checking the flight when we were leaving Seattle. It's like a 4.5 hour flight. We're like, I don't know, like they should delay this if there's weather in Nashville, or they should reschedule it or something like that. Cause we were scheduled to get in at like midnight. And I'm like, so anyway, they go off with the flight anyway. We're like circling Nashville or something like that. It's like 12:30 at night. We were supposed to have landed 45 minutes ago. And they're like, sorry, there's some weather. So we're diverting to Atlanta at this point. And so I checked later, and like most of the planes landed at that time. Like there was like 2 or 3 others that diverted similarly.
Is that the closest one to you? Like you couldn't have gone to...
There's Chattanooga Airport. There's Chattanooga. Everything, we were kind of looking south of it because we were already south of Nashville and trying to circle from the lower side. And so I've gotten diverted to Chattanooga before during weather, but like nothing's open if it's late at night. So you're kind of screwed if you go to Chattanooga. So Atlanta stuff was still kind of open, but it's still kind of a ghost town airport.
So
anyway,
never sleeps.
So Atlanta Airport is freaking huge for anybody who doesn't know. Biggest airport in North America.
Really?
Yeah. And as far as, flights in and out, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so because it was quote unquote weather related, which was just like, okay, this pilot didn't want to land during weather. The Nashville had experienced weather earlier that day. It was just some thunderstorms at that point. So anyway,
experiencing weather is an interesting verb because I experienced the drizzle today.
Right.
The middle of the country experienced tornadoes. Where's the middle of the line of the experience here?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so there's this nice little law that says that if a flight diverts for weather related stuff, they're not entitled to compensate you in any way with hotel rooms, even if it's in the middle of the night or anything like that. And so anyway, they tell us after we've been on the ground for like 30 minutes, it's like 2 a.m. Atlanta time at this point, because we've gone into the Eastern time zone. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're scheduled to, be back at the gate at like, 3:30 tomorrow in the afternoon. So it's like, that's more than 14 hours away at that point or something like that. And no hotel, no nothing. So we're like looking at our options. We have to take this train to baggage claim that takes like another 30 minutes to get from the gate that we were at, because we were at the farthest terminal, and you have to take a train. It's over 2 miles away to get to baggage claim or ground transportation or anything like that. Then we take another train to, which we had to wait for, to the rental car place. There's only one place open. Avis, shout out to Avis. They had cars. I made a reservation while we were in line, typing it in, and they're like, we only have minivans. I'm like, of course, that's fine. Like, I don't care. I don't need a Toyota, Sonata or whatever right there. So it's like 3 a.m. It's pouring rain. It's storming. And we drove all the way through the night, 4.5 hours back home from Atlanta through the, 45 miles an hour on the highway around semis where I couldn't see anything. It was awful. I almost fell asleep the entire time. Was blaring Bon Jovi to stay awake for the entire time. I was hyped up on caffeine because I'd like, yeah. So, and we were only halfway there, 3 hours into it, but it was awful. And boo on Alaska for not offering to give hotel vouchers at the very least. Like, come on, man.
You're sleeping for 4 hours at that point, even. The checkout's at 10 a.m. and you're checking in at 3 a.m. Well, what's the problem?
I would take that. That's, you can get 6 hours of sleep on that.
Yeah.
But that beats the hell out of anybody who's had to stay in an airport overnight. Like, that's not a good night's sleep at all. So, and I had work.
Did you sleep in the van?
But in the van? No, I drove the whole way.
All the way to Seattle?
No, all the way from Atlanta to Nashville.
Oh,
so we landed in Nashville, and then I drove 4.5 hours. Like from we left at 2 a.m. and then got back at. Actually, no, we left closer to 3 a.m. and then got back at 6:30 Central Time, so 7:30 Eastern. But anyway, that was a terrible experience. And I'm sure people have had worse experiences than that. And I actually think the first fly experience I had was probably better than that on paper. But
the part that I'm thinking of, John, is what would have been worse for you. The iconic Jerry Seinfeld.
They don't have a car for your reservation. Yeah.
I made a reservation. I don't think you know what a reservation is.
Right.
No, I do. Well, obviously you don't, because there's no car here for me.
Or you end up stepping into O'Brien's limousine or whatever, remember?
Right.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, that's good.
Well, you made it back. That's good.
I did. That was
still
good.
In the rat race of catching up, probably.
Oh yeah. Still way behind. But I thought I'd share, and boo Alaskan Airlines. Like, aren't you trying to get your reputation back after a door blew out on your plane because a bolt was loose? And I know that's a Boeing thing, like boo on Boeing as well. But anyway.
Did we talk about the story where the guy in the plane for Boeing saw the door fly off? So he paid for the Wi-Fi to buy puts for Boeing stock. Because he's like, I'm on this plane, man. And the door just flew off the plane. So he's like, I know their stock is tanking tomorrow. So he goes in and he loads up all these puts. So a put is when the stock goes down, you make money. Kind of like, So,
it's a short. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like insider trading, but like he lived it. So it's not.
That's a baller move right there.
Yeah. The $8.99 Wi-Fi charge, I guess.
Yeah. That probably paid for itself.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
well, good for him.
That was a funny story.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure what the next couple of weeks are going to look like here. We're probably going to come up with a better off-season schedule because everything's been kind of crazy with scheduling this week. The schedule release is really the last thing that happens, and we're kind of into the dog days of summer here. Besides mini camps and mandatory camps and OTAs and stuff like that. So anyway, also shout out to John Murphy in his retirement. That happened a couple of weeks ago, so we didn't get a chance to mention it. Yeah, so obviously that hurts. You're not going to hear him call a Bills game again. And he's like, anyone who ever had to drive, at least while you were, you couldn't be in front of a TV for the Bills game, got to listen to John Murphy, and that's the iconic voice. And those of us who are fortunate enough to still have Air TV, where it actually lined up where you could put the radio on, it still was usually a little bit delayed, but that was usually the best experience for a Bills game.
My little bit for Murph is, I know John and I, we live this together. No cable household. No internet household. My exposure to sports was at 6:27 p.m. John Murphy, 2-minute drill, Channel 7. Give me the run through what's going on. And then when he moved out, I think it was 2004, he quit that to be the play-by-play guy full time with Van. But I gotta say, man, I see Murph at the stadium regularly. Every single time I've ever seen him, just class, full class, awesome guy, talks to everybody, never makes you feel like you're a bother. Just awesome dude. So wish him the best. Hopefully we can get to hear him a little bit in the booth, right? He wants to do a little bit of something, be in the booth with Brownie and Sale Capaccio. And the story with Sale is cool. Like Murph, did you ever hear how Sale, did you hear that story?
Yeah, that's really cool. I saw Sale shared that.
Sale called Murph, was like, hey, I want to do this. And Murph's like, come into the radio or come into the Channel 7. And Sale brought him to his office, picked their brains, chatted. And then one day Murph needs a sideline guy and he called Sale. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, sweet. All right. We'll be back next week, hopefully. And until then, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.